let's talk about the sort of perception of time. So what the research shows us is that perception of experience time is largely driven by attention. Time bothers us when we pay attention to it. And so the name of the game is to give people distractions. It makes time feel like it went by quicker. Okay, so give your customers something to do while waiting. Compare an elevator ride. Some companies use music, but usually they use irritating music. But what if you, played them the news or some kind of interesting podcast, and then it almost becomes something, it's distracting and fun to be waiting. The other thing to do to manage time is give people a sense of progress. Okay, the one thing we really don't like is not knowing. Right? Not knowing when this thing is going to end. Actually, airlines used to be bad at this. You had a boarding time, but it was never kind of clear exactly when it was. And now they've shifted to telling you exactly when the boarding time is, and they even have a countdown telling you, boarding is going to commence in X amount of minutes. The exact same amount of time where you have a sense of progress versus you don't have a sense of progress feels completely different. And so, Disney recognizes that it has people waiting in lines for a ton of time. And so what they do is they have these kind of mileposts where they say, this is how much time you have left to go, to give you a sense of what's happening. Because what we really don't like is we don't like to have an experience where we don't have control. Right? So you want to give people a sense of control. What matters is not actual control, but it's your sense of perceived control. Do I feel like I'm controlling the time that's passing? Or is this something else controlling it and I have no control over it? Most of the time, customers are engaging in these experiences and they're not cynical. When I go to Disney, I know they're messing with my mind with all the information about the waiting time, but it still works. You can have an objective time in which something happened that's very different than the subjective time in which something happened. And so the question is, how do you manage that subjective sense of elapsed time?
Understand how consumers experience and rewire your approach to marketing. Learn more about innovative marketing for strategic advantage.